Welcome back. In the midst of the frenzy about the Brexiters, hundreds of migrants hoping to make their way into Europe, fleeing war and hunger in their home countries. One of the reasons Britons wanted the exit was to have control of their borders. If Britain had voted to remain in the EU, it would have faced demands to pay billions of pounds into the EU budget in dealing with Europe's growing migrant population. The EU has said countries should be prepared to make room for new commitments in handling the crisis.
Migration is one of the issues that led to the Brexit. As of December 2015, about 1 million migrants and refugees have arrived in Europe, 3 or 4 times more than the number of people that arrived in 2014. While just 3% of that number came by land to Bulgaria and Greece, the rest came by sea to Greece, Italy, Spain, Cyprus and Malta. More than half of that population is coming from Syria. Over 130,000 migrants have made a crossing since the start of this year, while more than 410 have lost their lives in the attempt. Getting to Europe, they do not receive a hero's welcome. They are lumped in makeshift camps, and their basic needs are being taken care of by aid organizations, which themselves have limited funding. But dramatic images last year from the camps showing large groups trying to force their way through the Channel Tunnel and onto trucks heading for ferries to Dover in England spurred Eurosceptics to amplify calls for Britons to vote to quit the EU. Some migrants, many living in squalid conditions in makeshift camps, see the vote in their favor, anticipating the move of immigration checks to the English side of the tunnel.
Most of the people in here, they think it's good because UK is out of the European Union. And for English people, I don't know. For French people, but a few days ago, I read this on Facebook that France will leave all the Calais refugees out of the Calais to England if England is out of the European Union. This is what I read in the newspaper. A few days ago, France published this. And most of the refugees from different countries here, they wanted UK to get out of the European Union because maybe now they will have a chance to go to UK easily.
But on Friday, French Foreign Minister Jean-Marc Ayrault said France's border with Britain for migration will remain on British soil, dismissing calls for it to be moved to the English coast following the Brexit vote. Some saw the vote as a way to close down the migrant camps.
Alors en ce qui concerne les migrants, il est bien évident qu'il y a des accords du Touquet.
About the migrants, we have the 2K agreement. But let's imagine that those agreements no longer apply. What would the conditions be in order to leave France and go to Britain? I suppose that one would at least need identity papers. But we could probably, when the 2K agreement is renegotiated, find a solution for the Calais camp.
Official figures from the Pas-de-Calais region put the total in tents, shanties, and a new state-run city of converter shipping containers at 3,900, up from 3,500 at the end of March, but well down from the peak of over 6,000 reported in September.
Let's check in now on other discussions in diplomatic circles. Israel and Turkey have reached an agreement to normalize ties to end a 6-year rift over the Israeli Navy's killing of 10 Turkish pro-Palestinian activists who tried to sail to the blockaded Gaza Strip in 2010. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu traveled to Rome on Sunday to meet U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Israeli and Turkish officials who were also in the Italian capital to finalize the deal. Meanwhile, the Italian Navy has pulled 117 migrants from overcrowded inflatable dinghies in the Mediterranean on Saturday. Video released by the Navy on Sunday shows the rescue off the Libyan coast, which included 23 women. All of the migrants were safely transferred to a Coast Guard vessel for transport to Italy. Finally, Pope Benedict has called for Europe to rebuild after Brexit, calling on leaders not to throw the baby out with the bathwater and to try to jumpstart things to recreate. Because, according to the Pope, recreation is human, it is our personality, and it is a path we have to take. This is where we end the program this week. Tell us what you think about the Brexit using any of the addresses showing on your screen. I am Amarachi Ubani. Thanks for watching.